January is upon us, and what does that mean? The transfer window is open again, so teams are going to be busy signing players. Some need it more than others, so today I'm going to be giving one player that every Big Six Premier League club should sign this month to improve their chances of, finishing the season strong. Some have different aims though, so should we start in alphabetical order, or should we start in order of who's the worst in the table? Now, let's start alphabetically before I start hating on United already. Let's go to Arsenal. Arsenal. Who do Arsenal need, right? Because this one I found quite difficult because the players that I think Arsenal are going to need for the future, I don't know if the league is still in reach for them this year. I think that could be too much of a stretch, right? They are quite far behind and we don't look like we're slowing down, do we? It's going to be very tough for them to catch us. So I've thought about this, right? Because if I'm thinking about the big targets, the likes of Isak or Gyökeres as that number 9, as a left winger, the Kvicha Kvaratskhelia, Leao, Rodrigo, these players that Arsenal want to go and get as a midfielder, you can talk about Frankie de Jong or whatever, I don't know if any of them are going to be attainable in January, which is why I've gone with a player who's versatile, can play on the right, on the left and up front. He's been amazing for Bournemouth this season under Andoni Iraola. He fits perfectly in that system, and I think he'd do well at Arsenal. Arsenal need cover for Saka. Right wing is his natural position, but he can play on the left and up front as well. He's had a great season. I'm obviously talking about Antoine Semenyo. He's got 5 goals for Bournemouth already. He's 24 years old, so definitely can still improve, and I think he's been excellent, right, in terms of what he does for this team, right? He does everything, right? He does everything. He runs around like crazy. He's a pressing monster as well, and I think he'd do really well, and I think he has a high ceiling, right? And we've known about him for a while, right? He was good last season, I feel, right? I think he was very good, and Bournemouth overall were really good last season, and this season I think he's taken it up a level, and the versatility is exactly what Arsenal need, and I think he would be attainable in January. And if they do want to, challenge for the league, challenge for the Champions League, they're going to need depth, especially while Saka's out. Semenyo could be that guy, and like I said, he can play on the left and up front. Now, in alphabetical order, second next is Chelsea. Chelsea are an interesting one because, everyone was saying they're not in the title race, right? But then people were saying they were in the title race and they were on amazing form. But now they haven't had the best of recent results, right? Obviously, that loss to Fulham, and then they went and lost to Ipswich, 2 losses in a row, and a draw to Everton before that. So they've hit a slump now, and they're sat 4th in the table. Are they going to make top 4? They need to, right? They absolutely need to, right? With the way they started, they have to make top 4. And what are the positions that they need to strengthen? Because going forward, Jackson, Palmer, Neto, Madueke, they score goals. Caicedo has been amazing. If I look at where Chelsea need to improve, I'm looking at centre-back, because Fofana's always injured, and Tosin Adarabioyo and Levi Colwill, have they got what it takes to win a Premier League for Chelsea? I don't know. But the main position I'm talking about is goalkeeper, because Robert Sanchez can certainly be improved on, right? He really hasn't been great for them this season, and I don't think Chelsea fans particularly rate him as their goalkeeper. So much so that Jorgensen started against Ipswich, but he wasn't great himself. He fouled Liam Delap for the penalty, and they lost 2-0. So, they're having a goalkeeper problem there at Chelsea, which is why I considered a few options. I considered Kobel from Borussia Dortmund. I think he'd be very good for them. He's a very good ball-playing keeper. But I've gone with someone a little bit younger who has been linked with a big move for a long time. I'm talking about Diogo Costa from Porto. This man he's only 25. We've known about him for a while, right? He's Portugal's starting keeper. He's Porto's starting keeper. He's been really, really good for Porto this year under Conceição, the manager, who's now obviously going to AC Milan, right? I feel like he has what it takes to be that new Chelsea goalkeeper, and Chelsea are crying out for a goalkeeper. I don't know whether Porto would let him go in January, but my guess is probably yes, right? And their defensive record in recent games, right? They've gone the last 4 games without conceding a goal, and he's been a huge part of that. His save percentage is excellent, right? He's only conceded 9 goals in the league this season, right? Porto's defensive record has been spectacular. It's been the best in the league. In 16 games, conceded 9 goals. He's been absolutely solid, right? We saw him at the Euros in the penalty shootout, right? Was amazing, right? He single-handedly took Portugal through in that penalty shootout against Slovenia, and I think he could really be a big boost at Chelsea, and it's exactly what they need, because they need someone, after they had Petr Cech and Courtois, they struggled with goalkeepers. They had Kepa, they had Mendy, now they've got Robert Sanchez. They need somebody to be in there, consistent, solid keeper, Diogo Costa, and I think you can get him for about 50 million. Now we head over to the about to be Premier League champions. I don't want to jinx it, but we're cooking right now, and we have Man United at the weekend. I'm so excited, you guys. You don't know, this is going to be like, it could come back to bite me, but I highly doubt it with the way they're playing, right? And I really want us to absolutely smoke them and go on to win the Premier League this season. It's been a dream season for us, like genuinely unbelievable from everybody involved. But there is always a place to improve. And if that is one position, the position is left back. I think Andy Robertson's been amazing for us for however long he's been here. But I think this season, you're beginning to see a drop-off, inconsistencies. Can he be relied upon? You know, I think we definitely keep him. But I think we need someone else in there as well so that they can share the workload, and probably Robertson doesn't have to play as many games, and, you know, because he is getting on a bit. So we're going young, right? We're going young and hungry. We're going to Bournemouth. Milos Kerkez. This man, 21 years old, reminds me of a young Robertson. The way he bombs down that wing for Bournemouth, just energetic, up and down, right? Crosses in, chance creation. This man could be the Andy Robertson replacement. Again, another Bournemouth player we're talking about. They've had a spectacular season. Iraola has been exceptional for them, and he is one of the big reasons. Against Man City, I remember watching that game and thinking, this guy is absolutely ridiculous, right? He was a joke that game, and I think that he perfectly fits the style that we want to play, right? We want an attacking fullback. We do not want a Carl Walker style fullback, you know. We want to play high-flying football, you know, like we have Trent on one side. We need someone else with the legs, young, capable of doing that, and that is Kerkez. I was thinking about Anthony Robinson as well, but I think maybe for the age profile, I think Kerkez is better, and I think he probably suit our team. Nuri as well, very good attacking fullback, but defensively, I'm not sure about that, right? Maybe Man United is where he fits more as one of those like wing backs or wide midfielders or whatever. But I don't know if he'd fit in a back four, especially, you know, with Trent already being attacking. I mean, we don't know if he's going to stay or not, but Connor Bradley, regardless, being very attacking, if we can afford someone, again, who isn't that great of a defender, which is why I think Kerkez is perfect, because he manages both like aspects of the game really, really well. And I don't know, and I think we could be able to get him in January, because Bournemouth, like I said with Semenyo, like, they are capable of losing players and finding replacements. They sold Solanke, they brought in Evan Nilsson, who I think has been really good, and I think Kerkez, they would be able to find a replacement. So I think they would be happy letting him go if we paid the amount of money. I don't know how much that would be, maybe 40, 50, 60 million. But whatever it is, for a 21-year-old with his potential, I would happily take that. Moving over to Manchester, let's start with the Blues, right? Let's start with Manchester City. One win in 13, right? It hasn't been good for them. They did win now recently. They beat Leicester, but it's all gone wrong for them this season. Absolute disaster of a season, and I think that has a lot to do with just the players burning out, right? So I think this January transfer window and in the summer as well, they're going to need reinforcements. So this was really tough because there's so many positions that they need to improve on. But I've gone with the main one, the Rodri replacement, the DM. And I've gone with this guy. I don't know whether he'll be possible to be gotten in January, but City have the money, and this club do still have PSR, financial fair play issues. Bruno Guimaraes from Newcastle United to Man City, because this man can do everything, right? He can play as that 6 whilst Rodri's out. Then when Rodri comes back, he's able to play in that 8 as well, play with Rodri. I think that on the ball, I think he's so neat with it, right? He's an engine, right? He covers ground so well. I feel like he's amazing as a box-to-box, can defend in one box, attack in the other, right? He's been exceptional for Newcastle. I don't know where Newcastle would be without him, and I think that is the position that City need most right now. I was thinking of Zubimendi, I was thinking of Frankie de Jong, right? I was thinking of Carlos Baleba as well. There were many options, but I think he's the best. I don't know if it's going to be attainable, especially in January, but I think City are capable of getting anybody, and if they need this guy, I think he would be amazing for them. But it would be a big blow for Newcastle, but they do have financial issues, so they might just have to let it go. But I think that could really fix City's problems. Obviously, I think there's loads, especially with the injuries that they have, and De Bruyne may be on his way out, right? Are they going to need somebody to take that mantle? You know, people saying Florian Wirtz, who I think would be amazing, but I think that's more of a summer transfer than January right now. Manchester United, I mean, what do you want me to say here? They, like, everybody, just absolutely everybody and anybody. This club needs every single position. I'm telling you, the rebuild is... Ralf Rangnick said it almost 3 years ago, And since then, they're back, right? They're back to square one. Open heart surgery is needed. And I don't know who the first to come in is, but I've got a name, right? I've got a name, but there's loads, right? They need defenders. I think they still need a goalkeeper. They definitely need those wide midfielders. They 100% need a striker. Højlund and Xerxes, I just don't think are capable of doing it, right? I think that we've seen glimpses, but I just don't think they're good enough. And we need and they need the number 10s as well. Like, they need number 10s as well. They need absolutely everything, man. So this was really difficult. But I've gone with someone who recently tore United a new one, scored, and was by far the man of the match. I thought he was exceptional. He plays in a 3-4-2-1 system, so he can play as one of the number 10s behind the striker. He knows that system. And he's already got 10 goals in the Premier League this season. And I think I think Wolves would have to let him go if the money was right. I'm talking about Matheus Cunha, because this man is amazing. He's way too good for Wolves. Way too good. And if he doesn't get a move in January, he will get a move in the summer, because he deserves to play at the highest level. I think technically he's unbelievable. Scored an Olympico, like I said, against Manchester United. I think he brings goals as well, right? He brings goals. He'll be the highest goal scorer in that Man United team if he was to come. He knows the system. He knows the formation. I think technically he's got the attributes to play at the highest level, creatively as well, and he's been outperforming his XG a lot as well. So he's a really, really good finisher, Matheus Cunha. He's been doing wonders for me in my FPL as well. So I'm telling you, this could be somebody that United go for. I was thinking, again, about the same names for the midfield: Baliba, Bruno Guimaraes, Zubimendi. In terms of strikers, I was thinking about Osimhen, John Duran, right? Liam Delap, maybe. There's many options. I was thinking of Ait Nouri for the wing backs or wide midfielders, as I think they're going to be more wide midfielders, right? So I think it was really difficult for Manchester United because they need everything. But I think if there was one, I just think that Premier League proven as well. You know he's going to slot in and he's going to be absolutely fine, Cunha, right? And he tore them up, so you just have to go. I think they would absolutely need him. I think he'd be amazing. And he speaks Portuguese, so with Amorim, connection there, innit? And now for the final club, Tottenham Hotspurs. I mean, they've had a terrible season as well. Ange Postecoglou, it hasn't gone well. But I think they have a really solid team, right? I think they have a really solid team. They've been unlucky with injuries as well. I mean, Fraser Forster's been playing instead of Vicario, who's now injured. Romero and Van de Ven also injured. So it's been Archie Gray and Dragusin. And the defence has been absolute horror. So I'm going for a centre-back. Someone who most of you might not have heard of yet, but I've done my scouting, and this guy is going to be amazing. I'm telling you, this guy is going to be a baller, an absolute baller. 22 years old at PSV Eindhoven, Dutch centre-back by the name of Ryan Flamingo. He turned 22 like 2 or 3 days ago, okay? This man has got all the potential to play at the highest level, and he's got a brazy name as well, Ryan Flamingo. Oh my gosh, he's been crucial. He's played every game for PSV this season, basically, right? And he's not looked out of place once. PSV are storming that league, right? They're top by 6 points, right? They've won 15 out of 17 games. They've been playing amazingly. They've only conceded 13 goals. They've got the best defense in the league, and this man is the reason for that, right? He was at Utrecht last season, was a crucial part, played every game for them last season. PSV signed him, and for Peter Bosz, he's been an absolute diamond. Right, like the whole team's been amazing. PSV this season, even in the Champions League, right? They've been doing well. They've been winning games, right? They did lose to Brest, but they managed to beat Shakhtar. They beat Girona. They drew with PSG as well. They drew with Sporting. So they've had a good Champions League campaign as well for PSV. And this man, I think, also ball-playing centre-back, right? 90% passing accuracy, 59% accurate long balls as well. And just when you watch him, he is not phased, right? And I think he's 6'1" as well. He's a big guy. I think he would fit into this Tottenham team brilliantly. And they need him now because, I'm sorry, Archie Gray and Dragusin just are not able to. Archie Gray isn't a centre-back, feel bad for him. But Dragusin, I don't think he has like the ball playing ability and the high line, I don't think he's a perfect fit for Tottenham, right? But I think this guy, Ryan Flamingo, trust me, he's going to get a big move soon. And I think if Tottenham offered the deal right now, I think PSV would have no choice but to accept if the money was right. And I think he has a big potential also for the Dutch national team, once Van Dijk and stuff, gets older and, is on the way out, I think he could be brilliant for them. I think he could be a future star. I'm telling you, I'm calling it now. A couple days into 2025, Ryan Flamingo is going to be a baller. Thank you very much, guys, for watching till the end. These are the big 6 clubs and who I would sign for them. If you liked, like, share, subscribe, and I'll see you guys soon.